Hi friends, welcome to Yoga with Sarah Trapani. I'm Sarah and I really appreciate you joining me today for this well-rounded, moderately paced vinyasa flow style practice. Looking forward to seeing you on the mat. Close your eyes when you're comfortable with that and tune into the alignment of your two sitting bones over your heels. You might notice one sitting bone dropping a little lower than the other. Try to adjust. So for me, my left sitting bone is a little higher up. So I let the left sitting bone drop down just a little bit more to try to bring my two hip points more equal. Lifting up through the side waists, feeling the warmth of the palms resting, facing down in your lap. The nose is aligned right over the belly button. And as those two sitting bones drop down equally, we are lengthening right up through the lower back, right up through the space between the shoulder blades, and right up through the crown of the head. Take a moment to tune into your breath and arrive more fully in your body and in your practice today. Bringing your hands together at heart center, inviting compassion for wherever you're at in this practice today, and trusting that you can back off at any point as we move through this practice together. Set your intention for today. What do you want to cultivate in this time on your mat? And let that intention help inspire your effort. Returning to that intention as you return to your breath. And let's go ahead and press through the tops of the feet. Make your way into a tabletop position. Palms are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Spread your fingers really wide and start to drop your belly down. On the inhale, look up. Exhale, we're going to press through the tops of the feet, scoop the tail, and round the spine. And then inhale, elbows are soft, spread the chest, look forward or up. And then exhale, press through the tops of the feet and round. One more inhale, belly hanging down, look forward, look up. Then exhale, come on back to neutral and curl your toes underneath. Extend your right leg straight back through the heel, pressing your right sole of your foot straight back as if you're trying to stamp it on the back wall. And then hover your left hand off the ground. If it's available, extend your left fingertips forward, thumb facing up, lifting up through the back of your head. Inhale, lift your heel, lift your thumb. Exhale, release your hand and knee. Do the other side. Extend your left heel straight back, trying to stamp that foot on the back wall. Reach your right fingertips forward, thumb up. Good. You can look forward slightly. Inhale, lift the heel and hand. Exhale, release the hand and knee. And then send your hips toward the heels. Walk your hands forward quite a bit. Breathe, exhaling out through the sitting bones. Then lift your knees and come on up into a downward dog. Pedaling out your feet. Lift your heels and wave into plank pose. Keeping your hands in the same position as you exhale, slide the hips back up to downward dog. And we'll wake up a little more on the inhale, coming forward into plank. Waving through the crown of the head. And exhale, press back. Knees are soft. Downward dog. Wave into plank. Bring your knees down. When you exhale, come back hips to heels. Then come on to tented fingers. Hasta Bandha. Lift the center of the palms right up into your underarms. Then lift your belly and glide that right foot through, right between your hands. Hands are framing that front foot. Now walk your hands onto your right thigh. Keep the back toes tucked. If it feels available, sweep the arms forward and up into crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, creating some back bend. And we'll inhale, open the arms out to a T, palms up. When you exhale, bring your pinkies in and give a little press so the pinkies touch. And then inhale, we're going to sweep open. And exhale, touch. Inhale, sweep open. And exhale, release your hands to frame that front foot. Now lift your left thigh and spin that left heel down. So it's about heel to heel alignment. Bending through that right knee, start to drop the tail and come on up to warrior one with hands on hips. So for this warrior one, the left toes are turning toward the upper left-hand corner of your mat. And that right thigh bone is hugging into the hip socket. So the femur bones feel really secure, connecting into the hip sockets. Now go ahead and sweep your arms forward and up into warrior one, spreading the toes on both feet. Then straighten that right leg on the inhale. You can look up between your hands. Reach the fingertips away from your hips. Then exhale, bend your right knee. Reach your fingertips forward. Start to lean forward and then swing the arms straight back, reaching away from your shoulders. And then inhale, sweeping up, straightening through that front leg, looking up. Exhale, sweeping forward, reaching the fingertips back. You bring your nose toward your right knee. One more time, inhale, belly in, floating up. Exhale, releasing down, nose toward the knee. Then take your hands onto your lower back, straighten your right leg, fold your forehead toward your right shin, gathering that belly in as you exhale. Bring your hands down to the floor to frame that front foot. Parsvottanasana. Pressing through the ball of the right foot, drag your right sitting bone back. And then bend the right knee, cartwheel the left arm up and overhead into warrior two. So you have to adjust your feet a little bit so those left toes aren't turned forward quite as much. Right knee drops down, arms open to a T, looking over the right fingertips. And then straighten your right leg all the way. Turn your right toes in, your right heel out. Find a wide-legged stance. Take a cactus arm with your palms facing your ears. Turn your toes out and your heels in. Doesn't have to be super wide turn out, just toward those corner edges of the mat. And then when you bend your knees and drop down toward goddess squat, the knees come down right in alignment over the ankle joint. And we're nice and strong in goddess squat, dropping the tail, then letting the arms come down, interlace the fingers, and press the palms straight down toward the floor. Then when you inhale, press the palms up overhead. And then exhale, press down right through the front line of the body. And inhale, lift up, press up. Exhale, press down. Hold, drop your tail. And then straighten the legs, take your hands to your hips, turn your toes toward the front of your mat. Then release your hands to frame that front foot. Plant the palms, stepping back to downward dog with the knees soft. And lift the heels high. Lift the heels high and wave into a plank pose. Hug your elbows in, lower all the way down, chaturanga. Then take your feet flat, cobra pose or upward dog, rooting through the tops of the feet, lifting your knees, looking up. And then as you exhale, make your way to downward dog, however you get there. Feeling the length from the pinkies straight up through the hip creases. And make your way into plank. Bring your knees down. On your exhale, press back. Child's pose, tented fingers, hasta bandha. Lift the belly, slide your left foot through, right between the hands. Left knee is over the heel. Walk your hands onto your left thigh. If you feel stable, reach your arms right up. And we're going to inhale, open, pinkies, palms facing up. Exhale, pinkies in, squeeze. Inhale, rotate, big open circle. Exhale, belly in, pinkies in. Inhale, sweep open. Exhale, release your hands to frame that front foot. Lift your right thigh, spin your right heel down, and then come on up to warrior one. Left knee is over the heel. Take your time to find your stability first. Heel to heel alignment, both feet equally rooting, and then the arms will float up toward the sky. Draw your lower ribs in. Let's inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, bend, lean forward. And as you lean forward, bringing your nose toward your knee, reach your fingertips back and root through your right heel. And inhale, sweep on up. Reach up. Exhale, lean forward and reach back. Inhale, drop the tail, reach up. Exhale, leaning forward and reaching back. Continue to fold forward and bring your hands onto your lower back. And fold, straightening your left leg all the way. If it's too intense, you can bring your hands to the ground to frame your front foot. And inhale, and exhale, release your hands to frame that front foot, coming into Parsvottanasana. Exhale all the way out. Then bend your left knee. Take a slow cartwheel up into Warrior Two, and remember to adjust your feet a little bit. You have to heel toe that left foot in once or twice. And then you open your right toes a little bit so they're not so sharply turned toward the front of your mat. And then you find Warrior Two, arms out to a T, gazing over the left fingertips. Drop your pelvis down. Good. Then turn your left palm up, reverse warrior, right hand to right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Inhale. Exhale, slowly cartwheel. Release your hands to frame that front foot. Swing the right heel over the toes. Take a step back into plank. Look forward. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Take your feet flat. Cobra pose on the inhale or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes and find downward dog. Couple breaths. Smooth, steady breaths. Reaching your lower back right up toward the sky. And then we'll come into plank. Bring your knees down. Swing your ankles underneath and come on to sit, extending your legs out straight. Now hug your right heel in toward your right sitting bone. Sit up really tall. We're going to wrap our left arm around that right leg. Coming into Marichasana C. It's a seated spinal twist. Right fingertips behind you, either tented fingers or palm all the way to the floor. Lift up through the crown and look over your right shoulder. And you're gathering that right thigh into the belly, pressing through the ball of your right foot, and a nice flex through that left foot so the toes point straight up toward the ceiling. And we'll inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, unwind. Take your fingertips behind you and let your right knee open out. And then slide that right leg out straight and flex your feet. Walk your hands towards your lower back. And then hug your left heel in. Wrap your right arm around the outer left thigh and turn. So you're kind of giving that right leg a hug. You're giving that left leg a hug. And drop your right thigh bone down. Left fingertips or palm on the ground. And looking over your left shoulder. Breathing in that twist. Expanding your belly into that inner thigh. You can have a light fist with that right hand, or the right first finger and thumb could touch. One more inhale. Exhale, come on out. Take your hands behind you, let that left knee open out, then slide your left leg out straight. Wag your toes, and then you're leaning back still. We're going to inch forward toward the front of your mat. Then lift your hands so your core engages and sweep your arms forward and make your way down onto your back. Arriving on your back, letting the floor support you for a moment. And then go ahead and gently hug the knees in. Give yourself a squeeze, give yourself a hug. Cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Thread the needle and find figure 4 pose. You can let that left foot relax but flex your right foot and press your right inner knee away from your face. You can rock a little bit. Let your mind linger on the area of the most sensation as your right lower back gently presses toward the floor to deepen the stretch. And give those legs a little hug in closer. Uncross and go ahead and cross that left ankle on top. Take figure 4 on the other side. Good. Tune into your breath. Try to relax that right foot. Flex your left foot. And press that left inner knee away, thinking of making the 2 hip points pretty level with each other. Soft shoulder blades. Smooth breathing. And can you remember your intention for practice today? Let's hug the legs in a little closer. Uncross, come into full happy baby, reaching for the outside of the feet. Soles of feet face the sky. If the feet aren't available, you could always take your shins or ankles, rocking there, massaging your back out. Thanking yourself for showing up on your mat today. And then go ahead and release your feet down onto the floor. Palms are going to be facing up. Take your feet mat width distance. Start to do a few windshield wipers, wringing out your back, massaging out your lower back. Nice, easy windshield wiper. Really wonderful everyday release for your back and hips. And then come on in, bring your knees in to touch, constructive rest. Let your palms face up as we find our final meditation in constructive rest pose. It's our Shavasana for today. If you really would prefer to let your legs extend out straight, please feel free to do that. Make your way onto your back and let the floor support you. Let your tailbone rest away from your chin and let all the stress of your day dissolve into the ground. If your mind wanders away, you can always guide it back to the breath. I'm going to share today one of my favorite poems. A lot of times in my public classes, I read from books of poetry by Hafiz. Well, it's Daniel Ladinsky, who is an American poet, and he translates or channels this poet Hafiz. And this poem, even after all this time, the sun never says to earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. So allow that intention and that visualization to enter your mind, your heart. And can you find gratitude for anything at all today as you start to wiggle your fingers and toes, and eventually reaching your arms overhead for a reset stretch. Big full inhale. Exhale, roll yourself over onto either side that feels natural today to rest with the head in the crook of the arm. And gradually and slowly, as you're ready, press your way up. And we will meet together again in an upright seat, cross-legged seat. Finding yourself sitting tall, aligned from crown to tail, shoulders on the back. Let's rub our hands together, generate some warmth, and then take the hands on your belly, feeling the belly expand as you inhale, dropping your chin, remembering your intention for practice, and thanking yourself for showing up today. And I am wishing you joy, peace, health, strength, courage, and trust on the journey. Namaste. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really appreciate it, and it brings me a lot of joy to have any views for my videos and any comments that you leave. I appreciate. Please like and share and subscribe, and all those things really help me out. I am grateful. See you next time.